YouTube. I'm Matt and I react to comedians or comedy sketches that I've never seen before. My lolometer down here in the corner is going to count every time that I laugh out loud during this video. Now before I get started, I'm just going to tell you about something that happened to me yesterday. There's a friend of mine gave me a call and he asked if I'd like to buy a bed off him. I told him I'd have to sleep on it. No, seriously. I asked him if 20 quid would cover it. He said I'd need a bed sheet at least. Anyway, this time around I'm going to be watching Bernard Manning. Now I remember Bernard Manning being on the TV when I was a kid, but I don't think I ever really listened very much to his jokes, and I was probably too young to get most of them anyway. But I certainly remember him as a celebrity at the time when I was growing up. So let's see if he's any good.
Magician working the big liners, doing all his tricks, and a parrot on the side there keeps saying, it's up his sleeve, it's down his jumper, it's up his trousers leg. Where's the act? And the ship's boiler's blue. And him and the parrot's on this plank for 4 days. And the parrot's looking at him like that. And after 4 days, the parrot said, okay, I give up. What have you done with the ship? Fellow walks in a hairdresser's, give us a Tony Curtis, cut all his hair off just like an egg. He says, you Burke. You know who Tony Curtis is? He said, well, I should do. I saw the King and I 14 times. Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones, going through the customs at Heathrow Airport. The customs official said, have you got any LSD on you? Purple hearts, cannabis? He said, no, what made you ask? He said, well, he got here half an hour before the plane. The Lions were playing the ants in the middle of the jungle, football. The Lions was all over these ants, winning 3-0. But the little wide-head ants fetched a centipede on half-time. Played the game of its life, scored 14 goals. And they're running off at full time, and the Lions captain ran over to this ant, this centipede. He said, I've never seen such fantastic football in my life. I wish he didn't come out in the first half. He said, I was putting my boots on. Hairdresser's winner in Liverpool, Beatle haircut, sixpence. This fellow went in, he cut all his hair off. He said, hey, pal, they said the Beatles don't have their haircut like this. He said, they do if they come in here. Fellow talking to his mate, he said, I've had a lot of bad luck, he said, with marriage. He said, I wouldn't get married again. He said, I've been married twice. A lot of bad luck. He said, why? He said, well, first wife died eating poisoned mushrooms. What about your second wife? He says, fractured skull. He said, how was that? He said, she wouldn't eat mushrooms. Fellow walks in this pub, pinches a boomerang off the wall, and the landlord cops him, and he shoved it up his jumper, you know. Slung him out 78 times. Fellow walks in the doctor, he said, how do I stand, doctor? He said, you live to be 80. He says, I'm 80. He says, what'd I tell you? On site, Granada comes to Wythenshawe Estate, Manchester. Get the picture in the studio, Councillor Smith, Councillor Jones, Councillor Brown. Sat in champagne bucket chairs, smoking King Edward cigars, sipping Napoleon brandy, fitted carpet, the best of everything. Where's the punters on Wythenshawe? In the pouring rain. Hey! Are you there, Ray Gosling? Yes, I'm here. And I'm very stood here, I'll tell you. Are we on the air yet? We're on now. Good evening. On site this week comes from Wythenshawe Estate, Manchester, and we have a Mr. Mitchell off the estate who has a complaint for Councillor Jones. Mr. Mitchell. Thanks very much, son. Thank you. Councillor Jones, can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. It's about our roof. Yes, we want one. £4.15 a week for these houses, councillors. A disgrace. We've got bugs. Well, pull your bed away from the wall. We've done that, they pull it back. I threw a bucket of petrol on them the other night to come out on motorbike. I'm sick of these houses, I'll tell you. The walls are that thin, I opened the oven door the other day, there's a fella dipping his bread in our gravy. And another thing, Councillor, I think I'm the only one that works up here. There's some right layabouts live on this estate, I'll tell you. Fella next door to me, last job he had, school prefect. One of his insurance stamps is worth more than a penny black. He's been on the dole that long, he goes to the staff dances. Now listen, Councillor, what are you going to do about the pond at the bottom of the garden there? What are you going to do about that pond? I've been complaining about 14 years about that pond. Now you're doing nothing about it. Well, Mr. Mitchell, can I... What are you going to do about that pond? Can I speak? What are you going to do? Well, Mr. Mitchell, if you don't let me speak, I won't be able to tell you. Now just settle down, please. We know all about this pond. And we had a meeting only last week, the Town and Country Planning, about this pond, Mr. Mitchell. And we're going to send you 3 ducks. Lancashire lad goes to the vets, flat cap, white raincoat, galoshes, woodbine. He said, I've come about me cat. It's poorly. He says, is it a Tom? He says, no, I brought it with me, he said. Fellow went to the psychiatrist and said, I can't stop telling lies. He said, I don't believe you. Tramp walks in the doctor's. The doctor says, get out of here, you stink, you smell. Get out of here. Smell, get out. He said, the doctor next door told me that. He said, what are you doing in here? He said, I wanted a second opinion. Little old woman goes in this greengrocer's shop. She said, £5 of potatoes. He said, will you take King Edward? She said, no, let him come for his own. 2 drunks walk in this hotel. Well sloshed. Straight up to the reception. He says, come here, pal. Have you got a room with 2 single beds in for me and Charlie? He said, certainly, sir, room 309. And they're both that drunk, they can both get in the same bed. He says, Charlie, that fella's twisted us. He said, we're getting 2 single beds, there's someone in bed with me. He says, Fred, there's someone in bed with me, I know. He said, well, I'm going to sling mine out. And he gets hold of Charlie and bang, right down the wall. He said, I've slung him out, Charlie. He says, Fred, mine slung me out. He said, well, don't bother. Get him with me. Mr. Kosygin was inspecting 3 ranks of troops in the Red Square. All very quiet. And all of a sudden, ashoo! He says, who sneezed? Not a titter. Who sneezed? Nothing. He says, Sergeant, shoot the front rank. Steps over. He says, right. Who sneezed? Nothing. Sergeant, the second rank. Now then, who sneezed for the last time? The little Russian soldier says, Comrade Kosygin, it was I. He says, you? Bless you. Beethoven's valet went in, he said, I'm leaving you. He said, how do you mean you're leaving me? You've been with me 22 years. He said, I'm sick of hearing you playing the piano morning, noon and night. It cost me £6 a week for Aspros. He said, you can't leave me after 22 years. I get my inspiration from you. He says, me, don't make me laugh. Ha 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 ha. Fellow pays 400 quid for a diving lung, aqua kit and all the lot. Dives off the deep end at Newquay. It's down about 4,000 foot. Little fella there in a bikini. He thought, 400 quid for this equipment, I've been conned here. 10,000 feet. This fellow follows him down. 400 quid. Straight to the bottom. This fellow's there again. Gets his slate out. I've paid 400 quid for this equipment. How come you're down as far as me? And the fellow writes back, I'm drowning, you nit. Family on this estate wouldn't pay any rent, so they sent the bailiff up with a blue paper, summons, under the door. They had a pair of bellows the other side, blew it back. So he shoved it under again, they blew it back again. It's gone on for about 4 hours. Takes the summons back to the town hall. He said, you get the rent? He said, no, and I wouldn't pay any rent for a drafty bloody house like that. Fellow walks in the pub like that. Landau said, a bit of shell shock, pal. He said, no. He said, I can tell the time with this. What time is it then? He says, 11:15. He said, you're wrong, it's 11 o'clock. Oh, he said, I'm slow. Mr. Kosygin's going round this big factory with Ted Heath. He said, what time they start work here? He said, well, they start about 8 o'clock, clocking on, he said. In Russia, they start at 6 o'clock in the morning. Any breaks? Oh, he said, they knock off about 10 o'clock, all this wagon comes up and cup of tea and that. In Russia, no breaks. How long for dinner? He said, well, you get an hour. He said, something like a bet. He said, they take an hour and a half. In Russia, 10 minutes for dinner. Sandwiches, Russian sandwiches by the machine. What time they finish? He said, oh, they're pumping the bites up at 4 o'clock, he said. All of this children's hour, he said, on the television. In Russia, they work till 10 o'clock at night. 6 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night in Russia. He said, you couldn't get these lads to do that. He says, why not? He says, because they're all communists.
Bernard Manning. Yeah, that was good. There's definitely some good one-liners in there, but I think there was quite a few misses as well for me, in part because it was old. I mean, like I was born in 75, and I'd say that was probably sort of late 60s, early 70s, so I think there's a few references there to things that have happened at the time that I just didn't get, or I just didn't pick up on. And there was just a few jokes there that just didn't really hit the mark for me. And I also found it strangely off-putting that through quite a lot of that, he was smoking a cigar on stage, which I guess at the time you probably wouldn't think anything of that, but certainly now with people not smoking in pubs or clubs and that kind of thing just wouldn't be done. So to see a comedian doing that is actually kind of strangely jarring. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the video. I had some good laughs. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, drop a comment below, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, and I'll see you next time.